Have you ever stopped in the middle of lunch and wondered why you're eating at that exact moment? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner feel so natural that most of us never question them. But were humans always meant to eat 3 meals a day? Did our ancestors gather around for breakfast before heading out to hunt, or is this routine something we invented much later? As it turns out, the familiar 3-meal schedule isn't a biological rule at all. It's the result of centuries of changing lifestyles, work habits, religion, and culture. So how did eating 3 meals become the norm in many parts of the world? Let's find out, right here, on History of Simple Things. For most of human history, people didn't follow a strict breakfast, lunch, dinner routine. Hunter-gatherers ate whenever food was available. Some days they enjoyed several meals, while other days they went long stretches with little to eat. Survival depended more on opportunity than on the clock. As farming spread thousands of years ago, daily life became more predictable. Farmers often ate a light meal early in the morning before working in the fields, another meal around midday, and a larger meal after finishing the day's labor. Even then, eating patterns varied widely depending on the season, the local culture, and a family's wealth. There was no universal rule that everyone should eat 3 meals every day. Believe it or not, breakfast wasn't always considered the most important meal of the day. In parts of medieval Europe, many adults skipped it unless they performed physically demanding work, were elderly, or were ill. Some religious traditions even viewed eating too early as unnecessary indulgence. Over time, attitudes changed. During the Industrial Revolution, factory workers often started work very early in the morning. Eating before leaving home became practical because long shifts offered few opportunities for food. A morning meal provided energy before hours of physically demanding labor, helping breakfast become an established part of everyday life. Lunch also has an interesting history. In farming communities, people often paused around midday simply because they were already working close to home. But when factories, offices, and schools became more common, a scheduled midday break became necessary. Employers recognized that workers needed time to rest and refuel, while schools adopted lunch breaks to keep children focused throughout the day. Gradually, lunch became more than just a convenient pause. It became an expected part of the daily routine. Today, millions of people structure their schedules around that midday meal, even if they aren't doing physically demanding work. Dinner has long been the day's main meal in many cultures, but its timing has changed dramatically over the centuries. Before electric lighting, many families ate earlier because daylight was limited. As cities grew and people began working fixed schedules, evening meals shifted later. Dinner also became an important social event. Instead of simply satisfying hunger, it offered families a chance to gather, share news, and spend time together after work or school. Even today, despite busy lifestyles, dinner remains the meal most commonly associated with family conversations and celebrations. Here's the surprising part. Science doesn't say that everyone must eat 3 meals a day. Research shows that healthy eating depends far more on the quality and total amount of food than on following one specific meal schedule. Some people feel they're best eating 3 balanced meals. Others prefer smaller meals spread throughout the day, while some practice forms of time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting under appropriate circumstances. As long as nutritional needs are met, several eating patterns can support good health. Age, activity level, medical conditions, work schedules, and personal preference all play important roles. travel around the world, and you'll quickly discover that meal traditions vary enormously. In some countries, lunch is the largest meal of the day, while dinner is lighter. Elsewhere, families enjoy several small meals instead of 3 larger ones. Street food, afternoon tea, late-night suppers, and regional customs all show that there's no single correct way for humans to eat. Even within the same country, eating habits have changed over generations. Modern work schedules, refrigeration, grocery stores, and food delivery services have made food available almost any time, allowing many people to eat according to convenience rather than necessity. If the 3-meal routine developed gradually, when did the names themselves appear? The word breakfast is the oldest of the 3. It literally means breaking the fast after a night's sleep, and it was already being used in English by the Middle Ages. Dinner, interestingly, didn't originally mean an evening meal at all. It referred to the day's main meal, which for many people was eaten around midday. As work schedules shifted during the Industrial Revolution, that main meal gradually moved later into the evening and the name dinner moved with it. Lunch is the newest term. It evolved from the word luncheon in the late 17th and 18th centuries, describing a light snack before eventually becoming the regular midday meal we know today. So while humans have eaten throughout history, the familiar trio of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the meanings we attach to those names are surprisingly modern products of changing lifestyles. So, why do humans eat 3 meals a day? The answer isn't hidden in our biology alone. It's largely the result of history, agriculture, religion, industrial work schedules, and cultural traditions that gradually shaped everyday life. The breakfast-lunch-dinner routine became popular because it fit society, not because our bodies demanded exactly 3 meals. The next time you sit down for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, remember that you're following a tradition built over thousands of years of human history. And while 3 meals work well for many people, the healthiest routine is ultimately one that provides balanced nutrition, fits your lifestyle, and helps you feel your best. Sometimes the simplest daily habits have the most fascinating stories behind them. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.